Welcome to my project about the Tudors. I will be talking about how they became the royal family, the houses, and the entertainment. Who were the Tudors? The Tudors were a family of 5 monarchs, kings and queens, who reigned England and Wales for 118 years between 1485 and 1603. Henry VIII was born in 1485 and died in 1509. Henry VIII was born in 1509 and died in 1547, and he gave birth to Edward VI, who reigned from 1547 until 1553. Mary I reigned from 1553 till 1558. Elizabeth reigned from 1558 to 1603, and that was when the Tudor family ended. Henry VII gave birth to Henry VIII, who gave birth to Edward VI, Mary I, and Elizabeth I. And those were the only 3 generations of the Tudor family tree. This is shown in the family tree below, where you can see that Henry VII gave birth to Arthur and Henry. Arthur married Catherine of Aragon, but then sadly Arthur died, meaning that she ended up marrying Henry. But that means that she became a widow. Henry had 5 wives, and altogether they gave him 3 children: Edward, Mary, and Elizabeth. The War of the Roses explains how Henry VII became king against Richard III. They each picked a flower to represent which colour rose they would be. The person with the red was Henry VII. The person with the white was Richard. And after the War of the Roses, Henry VII merged the two margins of the family together, making a red and white rose, and the Tudor family began. Next I'm going to talk about Tudor houses. Here you can see is a rich Tudor house. This house would have probably belonged to a merchant. As you can see, they didn't have very thick glass, and they had shutters, but they only really shut them in the winter. At the time of the Tudors, glass was really expensive, so they didn't really have that much inside, so they used a lot of torches and wax. The houses were made out of wood because it was very, very cheap in the time, and the rich Tudors would have had slate roofs. Poor people would have had straw roofs, which could easily catch fire whilst they were cooking. We could also tell that this house belonged to a wealthy person because it had 2 chimneys. Some of these houses were so well made that they are still around today, But we definitely know that the poor Tudors' houses won't be around today because they were so poorly made. For my project, I visited the Elizabethan house in Plymouth and Totnes. These are two of the really rich Tudors' houses. They were normally built in an E or an H shape, and they still survive to this day because they were made out of wood. Please note that they were not made out of wood, only stone. Barrington Court is in London, and Hampton Court is in Somerset. My final slide is about Tudor Entertainment. These were some of the things the locals in Tudor times would have done and watched for entertainment. I've set my work out as a mind map so I can read it easily. So it shows me that Tudor Entertainment, and these were some of the entertainments: punishments in red, music in red, theatre in red, and sports in red. Those were some of the 4 things they used for entertainment. First up, punishments. Punishments were normally held in the city centres